And you're very welcome back to Dublin's Talking Sport on Dublin's Sunshine 106.8 with me, Reggie Corrigan. As always, been a great show so far, but we'd love to hear your opinions and your comments, so feel free to text us on 087 11 55 777. Well, it's amazing sometimes the little bits of information you can pick up just walking around the studio. And during the week, I discovered that one of our very own working here in Sunshine Radio, Ray Rooney, is actually the current Irish wrestling champion. Goes by a moniker of Captain Rooney. That's his wrestling name. So I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who recognise that. But I was quite surprised to find that we do have an Irish wrestling organisation here, and it's called the IWW. And Ray has kindly come in and decided to fill me in on the details. So Ray, Irish wrestling. I know now in my day, I mean, I'm older than you, so I can go back as far as seeing Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks on the television. That's how far back I can remember. But in recent years, the most famous ones are obviously the likes of Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, Steve Austin, different ones like that, The Undertaker. But here in Ireland, I didn't even realise it was in existence. Tell me about it.
Yeah, Reggie, there's been a scene in Ireland for over 10 years. Irish Whip Wrestling was started by Simon Rochford. Before that, there had been no scene. The WWF at the time would have come over for the odd show, but there had never been a place for an Irish people to train before this. So over 10 years ago, Simon started running shows under Irish Whip Wrestling. Started in the Tala Basketball Arena with a load of shows, and then took a break, came back and opened a training school for men and women across Ireland to train. And over that time, trainees have gone on to the WWE. The former WWE champion, Sheamus, started in Irish Whip Wrestling.
Really?
Yeah. He started about probably over 6-7 years ago. Started there, trained at the school, did shows all around Ireland, Northern Ireland, with Irish Whip Wrestling. From there, he was contacted by scouts when they were over in Europe, went over to a show, and then got signed to their development, and a few years later he was the WWE champion.
Like, it's not something we hear about going on in schools. In America, obviously, you've got Greco wrestling and Olympic wrestling and all the different things that they do have in schools. So it's not something that you hear about here in schools. So how do people hear, and where is it based? Where is the training camp based? How do they hear about it, and where does it take place?
We would run about 50 odd shows every year. So, we run from places in Dublin like the RDS to countries in or counties even like Falcarra and Letterkenny. So we've been all over Ireland. We just, from ourselves, just getting the word out from bits on the radio, TV and such over the years. But, for a show or whatever, to get the word out, we'd put up posters, flyers, go around the towns, do the radios and the local papers, and just try and get the name out as much as we can.
And how's it received? How many people would you get going to the show?
It can vary. We can run a small town hall that get 100 odd people to, when we ran the Tala Basketball Arena last, we got, I think it was about 1,200 at that. So it's a big scene, and it's a niche audience, but it is very popular, especially in the smaller towns where, say, the WWE wouldn't really go. They'd be confined to Dublin or Belfast. But in the smaller towns and such, it's a big hit because you get to see the wrestlers up close and personal.
And it's always been about entertainment. The athleticism involved is huge, and the agility of the athletes. But there is entertainment. A lot of it can be choreographed as well.
It's as crooked as a €7 note.
Well, you've said that, so you've been honest about that. So I mean, how do you progress within the sport, or where do you want to go with the sport, or what could Irish wrestlers' ambitions be?
Well, I mean, the dream is to get a scene going here. I think it would be something you'd need television for. I mean, there's a lot involved. While it is entertainment and stuff, it does take an awful amount of athletic ability, strength, agility and such to do the moves and to perform them. You're getting slammed onto wood, a bit of padding and some metal, so it does hurt. But the end result is not to seriously hurt anyone, but it does take an awful lot out of you. Like I was saying, the goal is to make a living out of it, and while I think it would be possible in Ireland with TV and such, I think everyone's dream is to go over to the WWE over in America to make a living and to make the millions and the national exposure and international exposure from them.
And you mentioned that that has happened in the past 6 or 7 years ago. That has happened. Are there any current wrestlers? I mean, you're the
yeah.
champion,
I've been over. I've wrestled all over America. I wrestled in Peru. I wrestled in Portugal. All over England and in Wales as well. Two other of the lads, three of us received TNA tryouts. TNA is seen over on Bravo. They're another American. They're number 2. They're lower on the pecking scale, but they've still got international exposure and do tours and such.
Okay.
Hulk Hogan's wrestling for them at the minute.
Right.
But then as well, another 2 lads had received WWE tryouts as well, so they're waiting to hear back from them about possibly going over to Florida. You go on to their development, which is based over there, and from there you go on to their TV.
Very good. Sounds very interesting. Well, it's opened up a whole new world to me I didn't even know existed, just from a casual conversation in the office. If there were people out there, young people or whatever age, interested in getting involved, where would they look up?
Well, we have websites and Facebooks. So our website is irishwhipwrestling.com. It's named over a Cork wrestler, Dan O'Mahony, who was a world champion in the 30s. We're also on Facebook at Irish Whip Wrestling. Our training school is based down in Offaly, so if they contact the website or the Facebook page, they can find out more details. And then we also train before shows every week, pretty much every weekend at some stage.
Excellent. Well, Captain Rooney, thank you very much for giving us that insight into what is a whole new world to me, Irish Whip Wrestling. I'll be watching a lot more carefully and having good conversations with you about it in the future.
Brilliant. Thanks for having me, Reggie.
Thanks very much, Ray.